as a country will be, rotating on the same.
And the country needs to move. And for the country
to move, but how can the country move if you the country, still want to go back to court over a matter that has been settled already?
Needs to move, knowing that they can still trust the judiciary to do the right thing. We expect the judiciary to do the right thing. And certain things that they have not addressed, issues of concern that have been raised, issues that they have left hanging, the dire straits that they have positioned our country in as regards dealing with matters with finality, we want them to be able to deal with those issues so that we can regain the confidence that we have, we at least are supposed to have in the judiciary. Otherwise, this judgment will be a final nail in the coffin of the judiciary. And no one will rely on its judgments anymore. No one will deal with, will attribute sanctity to the judiciary or their decisions. Because this in itself has left many questions. It has left many people wondering. It's for that reason that you're seeing Mwitwa trying to explain a judgment of the court. The only reason he's trying to explain it is because even to him, there are certain things that he knows are not adding up.
Don't you think that, Counsel Makebi Zulu, don't you think that it is high time people like you who are closer to the former president, people who are closer, you as his legal counsel, why not advise him perhaps maybe to, as you talk about plan B, to forget about this process altogether and embark on a new journey altogether? Because
listen, he has made it very clear.
Yeah,
he has made it abundantly clear. My position as counsel, I would tell him, these are your options, these are the legal issues, this is the argument, this is the argument, what should we go by? So far, he says, listen, it is not like I did not foresee this coming. It is for that reason that I warned that we should not weaponize the judiciary. We should not put it in a position where people no longer trust the judiciary. He's a lawyer, by the way. And the question is asking, how do we ensure that we maintain law and order? Because the idea is not that because they have said whatever they have said, then there are people that do not agree with this particular position. If they don't agree with this particular position, what are the legitimate and legal means of challenging such a decision? And we lay bare the legal means that are there to challenge this particular decision. But we also emphasize that political questions are never settled by the courts. So let's take the political questions to the people. We're going to the people and tell them, this person that you want, this person that you wanted, the same people that said he could come to you and contest an election have changed their minds. They're saying he can't. But then there are some things that they've not clarified. Should we have an election now or later? We think we should have an election now because they are saying that if I was not eligible, that election was tainted. If it was tainted, then it should be nullified. So we're going back to ask them the question whether we should have the election now or later. That question you, the people, cannot answer. But should they decide that we have an election now, we are saying don't vote for these guys. Should they decide that no, let's have it later, still don't vote for these guys. Now those are two different things. Those are two different things. And I hope you understand my point exactly. You have left this particular issue hanging. You cannot say that by your own act, your act which you have said was unconstitutional, your act which you said was an misinterpretation of the Constitution, does it then render that election free and fair? Answer that question. Shouldn't such a question be taken to court? Of course it should be taken to court. The court cannot be used to sanitize the continued stay of President Hakainde Hichilema in office. The court does no business in sanitizing his stay or legalizing his stay. What did they do when it came to the issue of the ministers staying in office? They said you should not have stayed in office because your stay was illegal. It was based on a misinterpretation of the law. Because it was based on a misinterpretation of the law, all the allowances that you got, pay back. That same constitutional court said that. Why then shouldn't they say that because you were born out of a poison chalice, out of a cradle, a compromised cradle, therefore that election was tainted? We allowed a person that was not qualified to stand. We allowed a person that was ineligible to stand. Therefore, that election cannot have been said to have been free and fair. Tell me, shouldn't such a question be taken?
You are fighting so many battles, if you ask me, more especially where the battlefront is concerned. Already there is a matter involving the 60th Republican President, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Again, it's still pending. You've made indication that you're going back to court to ask all these burning questions.
No, but the question is, doesn't any Zambian want to know what the fate of that election is? Doesn't any Zambian? That question was raised by John Sangwa. The court did just skate around it and only said, well, because there was a subsisting judgment that was there, it was good law until now when we have vacated it. But yes, you allowed the participation. What is the effect of allowing a person who's ineligible to participate on that particular election? Our view is it becomes a tainted election. You can't say it was free and fair. So what are you doing about it? Tell us you do not have any power to deal with it if you don't. If you have power to deal with this, tell us. In the case of the ministers, you said you pay back what you got paid during this particular period. What are you saying about the legitimacy of President Hakainde Hichilema's stay in office? Why didn't they go in that direction?
As I said, there's a lot on your table, Council. You are dealing with an individual here, and a lot of energy is being spent or perhaps wasted, for lack of better words. Again, there's also the general political party called the PF, which is again in a disarray as we speak right now, with so many heads, claiming or masquerading to be presidents of the party. So the question is, if you put all these things together, how much time are you going to spend resolving these matters, and yet time is going? When are you going to start marketing yourselves, that candidate, really?
So help me understand. When you say you, do you mean myself in the practice of the law? Or you mean you, the party Patriotic Front?
Yes, you and the party, the Patriotic Front.
Me and the party?
Yes.
Okay, let me tell you this. The Patriotic Front party is not a one-man show. We all thrive in areas that we specialize. Emmanuel Mwamba will do what he knows best to do. I will do what I know best to do. The SG will do what he knows best to do. The president will do what he knows best to do. When I'm at court, the president doesn't need to be at court. When the president is at a rally, I do not need to be at a rally. When Emmanuel Mwamba is talking to you, the journalist, we are not a small party. We are not a small party. Even as we are speaking right now, the moment President Edgar Chagwa Lungu says, I'm going to address the nation. In addressing the nation, he's talking to all our structures, and our structures are busy out there doing what they're supposed to do. And it is that support base, that structure, that is a very big threat to this government. And the person that is commandeering this structure is no other than Edgar Chagwa Lungu. In the dealings of the legal issues, I'm just but a small piece. The other lawyers are just but small pieces out of a bigger picture. We are all small pieces in this big picture who know what we ought to be doing at what time.
Are you claiming that? Are you telling me that, for example, Mao Sampa is not commanding those structures?
Listen,
are you telling me that Honorable Chavinga doesn't have a command about those structures?
I would not waste my time talking about Mao Sampa or Chavinga, because their status is well known to everyone. And I would not want to delve into chaos. I want to restrict myself to what is formidable and helpful for purposes of the progress and progression of this country.
Right.
And at this particular point, what Zambians are asking for is not where is Mao Sampa or where is Chavinga. The question they were asking is President Edgar Chagwa Lungu going to stand? And now they have been told President Edgar Chagwa Lungu is not standing. And President Edgar Chagwa Lungu is telling them, don't you worry, they have said what they have said, but I'm coming to you, and I'm coming to you with plan B.
Right.
And at an opportune time, he will be able to speak. I dare not review what plan B is, but it is what it is, and we will cross to the other side come 2026.
All right, permit me to pick up at least 3 calls and then we call it a night. The phone line is officially open. You can call me in the studio. I know that a number of you have been attempting to reach us, but now we can able to speak to you. I have in the studio Counsel Makebi Zulu, of course, who is representing the former president, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, in a matter which has been settled as of today, and the outcomes from the court is that the former president is not eligible to stand or to contest the elections come 2026 and other future elections. I've got my first caller. First, call me back. The number is right on your screens. I was just trying to... Okay, thank you. I've got a caller. Caller, good evening and welcome to the program. Hello, caller, good evening.
Yes, evening to you.
Good evening. Tell us your name, please, and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, I'm Elvis calling from Copperland.
That's Elvis?
Yes, Kitwe.
All right, please go ahead.
Yes. You see, though we are laymen, we are always concerned. But what we know is what was right in 2021 should be right even in 2026. And by seeing what is happening, it's like Lungu is a threat to this government. Because there's no way one person can rise that they can shake the whole UPND. The thing is, they should have allowed him to stand. Because we don't know how the law is interpreted there anyway. We need more light about that. But the thing is, they're supposed to have left ECL to stand. That is my contribution.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to pick up 2 more calls, then we close the program. I have Honorable Counsel Makebi Zulu, of course, in the studio, giving context or reacting to the Concord judgment or ruling that has been passed as of today. Caller, good evening. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you. Good, Honorable Makebi.
Good evening, sir.
Although you are breaking, maybe you can try to change your position.
Okay, sir. Yeah, okay, how am I sounding?
Yes,
now?
I think much better now. Tell us your name, please, and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, you're talking to Owen, calling from within Lusaka.
Please go ahead, Mr. Owen.
Yeah, thank you. And my question to Honorable Makebi, I wanted to know exactly about, we were buffed with the English that those people were using in the courts today. So I wanted to find out from Makebi on a serious business. If they say the Honorable our head of state, Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, has already moved twice since he came into power, I wanted to ask, where are they putting the first, our 5th Republican president, who happens to be Mr. Sata? Is his term still standing as a 5th Republican president who served from 2011 to 2014? Or they quashed that serving from 2011 to 2014 for Mr. Sata and only adopted for Mr. Lungu? And then second question is it council, are you ready to petition or to reopen the case under the Constitutional Court? We want to hear from you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you for those pertinent questions you've just raised. I'll pick up my last caller. Caller, good evening and welcome to the program. All right, I don't know what's going on here. Okay, please call me back. The number is right on your screens. I'm going to pick up my last call and then we call it a night. I have in the studio Honorable Makebi Zulu, who is the lawyer to the 60th Republican President Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu discussing the ruling that has been delivered today by the Concord. Caller, good evening and welcome to the program.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Tell us your name, please, and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling from Lufanyama, Kalulushi.
Your name, please?
I'm Doris.
Madam Doris, go ahead.
Yes. I just want to talk to the Honorable there. Yes. The question in the panel there, it is clear. Yes, if I do recall very well, he violated the rights. Yes. He was not supposed to stand, he was supposed to choose a person to stand on the party. But now, he wanted himself to show that he's capable of doing everything. And the law is there. All what the Honorable is to accept it and never petition it again. Because we are just going to, I don't know how we are going to do it. You bring a lot of issues in that. Yes, because this thing has taken 3 years for them to give the judgment today. So.
Yes, please, you may conclude. You may conclude.
Yes. Now, Mr. Honorable there, it's better you advise the former president, like.
All right. Thank you so much, Madam Doris. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
All right. Council, you may give your response to what has come through, the comments. I know people are still calling, yes, but I think we'll end here.
I think what is clear from the calls that are coming in is that even the public is confused as to what the determination was. Because you can't say, yes, you were right, now you are wrong. Whatever reasoning that you have given to say there was it still questions the legitimacy of that election, and you do not deal with it. So in this particular case, it is clear that there is a lot that needs to be explained. And when you have a judgment that you need to take time to explain, then there is a problem with that judgment. And by the way, it's not wrong to criticize a judgment by any citizen. They can speak. And I was trying to understand what Mama Doris was talking about, but I think the gist of her matter is that, listen, let sleeping dogs lie. Don't pursue this matter any further. I think that's the gist of her. But perhaps you should be allowing them to express themselves, even in the local language, so that we're able to actually. I do that exactly. Exactly. So I'm sure your advice has been taken, and I will be sure to convey it to him. And as regards the aspect of petitioning or going back to court, it is something that is under consideration for purposes of clarifying what the court meant and the import of what they said, not for purposes of having them reverse their decision, because we know we will not get to that point. Everybody knows currently we may not even get to that particular point. But do we need some things hanging? Do we want the court to be a laundromat? I think not. The court should not be a laundromat to clean up any person. The court should be a place where you get justice. And that justice must be complete, not be seen to only be punishing one person, or indeed being applied to one person and then the other being to be let go just like that. That is the issue. Let us balance the scale of justice, and when we do go back to court, it will be for purposes of balancing the scale of justice, and not necessarily for trying to obtain a different result from what they've done. Because President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, in his magnanimity, and perhaps that should be given to him, has made his position known. If you go to his Facebook page, he has spoken to the heart of the Zambians, stating what his position is. He does not necessarily need to agree with the court, but they've said what they've said. But the issues of concern, he has also stated what those issues of concern are, and how that he's going to move on to plan B. Yes.
Right. Council, we appreciate you for coming through to KBN TV, and we shall wait for that plan B, and of course call on you again.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.